Hello everyone and welcome back to your StarCraft 2 Daily Report. Today is Tuesday, January 18th, 2011. How have we been doing? Everything's been going well over here. Well enough, I suppose. Back to work full-time on the bar. How exciting is that? But you're not here to hear about my life. You are here to hear about some StarCraft, so let's go straight to the source. Over on the European StarCraft 2 homepage, we have a post about the Intel Extreme Master European Championship. Now there will be 12 top-tier European StarCraft 2 players competing in this championship. The prize pool is $18,000, and the winner of this is going to advance to the World Championship. So the winner of this will advance as the European representative in the World Championship for the Intel Extreme Masters. Should be pretty exciting there. Definitely looking forward to that. Now this is going to be taking place between January 20th and 23rd, and more information, of course, can be found on the link below. For those of you without an authenticator, or if you have an authenticator and would like to update to a shiny new one, there is good news. There has been introduced a new Raynor Battle.net Authenticator. Going to be really fancy, really nice looking, really sharp. Jim Raynor Authenticator. Now, if you don't have an authenticator, I suggest getting one in one form or another. Preventing getting your account stolen is something that Blizzard definitely has really been focusing on, especially since World of Warcraft was having a whole bunch of issues with theft of accounts. They basically really started implementing this authenticator design, and of course this is going to carry over into all Blizzard games now. Having an authenticator for your account is going to make it much more secure. So if you don't have one, I suggest getting one. I myself have one. It's one of those mobile authenticators, so I just go on my phone, I get the number, I type it in, and I am good, all set, and nice and safe. So yeah, nice new authenticator if you don't already have one. And now moving on to community news, heading on over to Team Liquid, we have a nice little interview here with MarineKing Prime. Now, if you don't know, MarineKing Prime is known for his Marine Micro. Go figure, as the name would suggest, he is a fan of Marines. He's a Terran player, plays very Marine heavy in his builds, and has got some pretty solid micro. Now, there's plenty of games out there to check out. You can search YouTube for MarineKing Prime, and I'm sure you'll get some. But a nice little interview with him. He just basically talks about his thoughts about the game, about the fact that he plays Marine heavy, and all sorts of stuff about just his gameplay and StarCraft in general. So nice little interview. Definitely go check that out. Would you like to win a trip to Korea? Would you like to tour the OGS Liquid House? Would you like to go to the GSL, OSL, MSL, and Pro League? And would you like round-trip airfare for 5 nights in Seoul and $1,000 spending money? Well, you can get just that if you head on over to Team Liquid. There is a post, and basically you're going to have to enter by going to pokerstrategy.com, but more information can be found here at Team Liquid. You pass a poker quiz, you request and receive a $50 bankroll. Basically that means you sign up for Poker Strategy. You sign up for a poker account. It doesn't cost any money, but you know, if you like poker, it's a good deal for certain. And then you have to watch the TSL finals for the raffle drawing. But you can, if you do these 4 steps, you can win a trip to Korea for 2. That is exciting. That is riveting. If you have that spare time and that's something you'd like to do, I definitely suggest entering. Why not enter? I mean, geez, it doesn't really hurt you much at all. It doesn't cost you anything. So go ahead and do it. And now we move on to the forum lurker. Over on the official Battle.net forums, we did have a post by Sixen, which is a FAQ about chat channels. So if there's anything you've been wondering about chat channels, you know, things that are implemented, things that are not implemented, if they plan on continuing to support chat channels, and the fact that they're going to be adding more features, stuff like that, this is just a nice general FAQ. So go ahead and follow that link below if you would like to learn more about chat channels. It's definitely nice and informative there, so why not do so? And then we head back over to Team Liquid, to the forums there. There was a post by FDSDFG, and it is ZVP, how to beat one base play. So as a Zerg player, are you fast expanding and having trouble against a Protoss player who's going one base 4-gate all-in, or anything of the sort? One base play can be really hard to deal with as Zerg gets very aggressive, especially a strong 4-gate with a player who knows what to do. So this is just like a nice little discussion. Basically, FDSDFG is asking for assistance, and there are some nice replies about the things that can and cannot be done. And of course, as forums always include, there is always banter and people arguing about how you are wrong and he is correct. But you know what? That's not a big deal. Who cares about that? We expect that when we go to forums anyways. But it is a nice post regardless, and there are some pretty solid answers and responses in there. So check it out if you're Zerg and you are having troubles against Protoss one base all-ins. And now we're going to move on to tournament news. We have a few tournaments tomorrow, which is Wednesday, January 19th. The first of which is an EU tournament. It's the Steel Series Go 4 SC2 number 74. The second tournament, also being an EU tournament, is the EU Craft Cup Light number 32. Now, in addition to that, we have some more tournaments taking place. The next one is on the U.S. server. We have the ASC Weekly number 2 Gold Platinum Division. And then the last of which, for Wednesday, January 19th, we have another U.S. tournament, and that is the SC2Next.net Masters Tournament number 1. So if you'd like to learn more about these tournaments, if you would like to enter these tournaments and you are qualified, you meet the entry requirements, the links are going to be available below. You can check them out, you can register, and you can yourself enter in the tournament. That would be fantastic. Who does not like tournaments? Tournament play is something that's really exciting and fun to compete in. So why don't you go ahead and do so? I've said that about 3 or 4 times, haven't I? It's pretty funny. And for today's game of the day, we have a game between the little one playing as Terran and WhiteRa as, of course, Protoss. This is about a 30-minute game. I think it was between 25 and 30 minutes. Really, really exciting matchup. It was on Xel'Naga Caverns. A lot of back and forth, a lot of dropping action, some higher tech units. We get to peer into some Colossus as well. So Colossus, some High Templar. Get some Siege Tank action, some Bioball action. It was a really fun and exciting match. I really enjoyed casting it. Also, I want to say someone asked in the last daily report if I'm always going to be, they said something like, I didn't think you were just always going to shamelessly self-promote, boo-hoo. It was something along those lines. The boo-hoo was definitely in there as well. Well, I want to let you know, if you don't like the daily report, then guess what you can do? You cannot watch it. Go ahead and figure that one out. That is complicated. I swear, sometimes you need to hold people's hands through everything in life. If you don't like something, you don't watch it. Complain your heart away. Nothing's going to change. And that wraps up the pretty much most of the daily report. We got one last thing to cover here, and that is going to be the tip of the day. Today's tip of the day is going to be watch your replays. Now, this is a pretty obvious idea. It's a pretty obvious concept. Watching your replays is the best way to see your mistakes and realize the things you have done wrong. Nearly all professional players looking to greatly improve their game will be watching the replays on a regular basis after losses. It's the best way to analyze your play. I mean, all analyzation of this game is done through replays pretty much. I mean, all casters, all strategy videos, anything of the sort. Day 9, he spends hours just analyzing replays. So that really speaks to the fact that going over replays is really important if you're looking to improve. So if you're having issues with your game, I suggest spending some time and just using that replay function, going over your games after you play them. Games you lose, games you win. Go over, look at it, break it down, and figure out what you could have done differently, the areas that you messed up. It's much easier post-game to look at what you're having issues with than it is while you're in the game. When you're in the game, you're caught up with everything you need to be doing. But post-game, if you can go back and you can look at it without actually being inside of the game itself, it's much easier to separate yourself and look at what, like, wow, this looks wrong, I should be doing this differently, yada, yada, yada. So look at your replays. It's going to be a really great way to improve your play. And we're going to go ahead and wrap things up with the question of the day. Now, if you have a question of the day for me, you can send that question to force@forcestrategygaming.com. Today's question of the day comes from Evan. Evan asks, Dear Force, I've seen OGS MC's Protoss 4-gate rush, and I barely see Terran players survive. As a Terran player, what can you do to stop this? Well, Evan, I think there's something important to realize in the Terran versus Protoss matchup in general. There's kind of a shift in power that takes place. Really early game, Marines and Marauder pushes from Terran players are very strong up until the point that the Warp Gate research is out, and that's why you'll see a lot of Terran players push with something like 2 or 3 Marauders, a couple Marines, and some SCVs. The idea is that the push is coming before the Warp Gate research is up, and you're trying to do as much damage, kill off what few units he has, so that way once he warps in units and reinforces, you're much more easily able to deal with it. Now then the power kind of shifts in the Protoss player's hand, because once they've got their Warp Gate research up, they can get a massive army very quickly. You have to realize that basically the cooldown is about every 30 seconds. It's 28 seconds for Zealot and then 32 seconds for Stalker and Sentry. So more or less every 30 seconds they're going to get 4 more units in. And you know, you do this 2 or 3 times and all of a sudden you have a really massive army very quickly. So at that point the power is kind of in the Protoss player's hand, and if they push at that point it can be very dangerous. dangerous. So to survive this, likely measures that you're going to need to do are have bunkers up, get ready to have some repairing SCVs to keep those bunkers alive a little bit longer, and to just keep pumping out units. If necessary, if he pushes and he has, you know, 4 more units than you do, and you just seem vastly outnumbered, you're going to want to pull some SCVs down to help. The general idea here is that if you know you're outnumbered and you're just going to lose your units anyways, you might as well bring some SCVs down to help. It's going to create a meat shield, it's going to add distracting fire, and it's going to be a little bit more damage. So try to even up the numbers as much as possible, and then slowly and steadily you're going to start to get a stronger force, and you're going to be able to hold off the 4-gate. And then the power is going to go back in your favor because he lacks a tech advantage in going for a robo build. When you go for a 4-gate build, the tech really isn't there. You're stuck on gateways for some time until you expand and you start to transition and everything like that. So realize that kind of shift of power, try to take advantage of it, either start trying to hit earlier with a small group of units, trying to do some damage early, or just be prepared for that strong push with some bunkers and be ready to pull off SCVs if you need them. So once again, guys, this has been Force from 4 Strategy Gaming. Hope you enjoyed today's daily report for Tuesday, January 18th, 2011. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I guess there's really not much else to talk about. Daily reports, kind of fun, kind of enjoyable. I'm glad you guys are enjoying them as well. I'm really doing what I can here to keep these things pumping out here. Gonna try to come up with some strategy videos today. Also want to come out with some commentary. I think I'm gonna work on a G3 video today as well, so that should be fun. Yeah, guys, I guess that's it. All right, well, as always, keep watching, keep owning.